Well, in short, I think basically, yes, you do. At least insofar as the Legal Sector Affinity Group guidance note is concerned. Now, that guidance note suggests that source of wealth enquiries should be commonplace. And I would argue that there is a bit of a bit of regulatory creep going on in the wording of the guidance note above and beyond what it says in the regulations. The regulations don't mention source of wealth anywhere. Well, in a couple of places they mention it, but it's broadly quiet on the issue of source of wealth. But the LSAG guidance note says you must ask about source of wealth as well as source of funds. Source of funds questions we've been asking for long enough. Where do you get the money for the property from and all that kind of stuff? We've been asking those questions for ages. The broader question of, well, how can you afford this in the first place is the awkward part, and it seems to be obtrusive, and it's not something that we feel terribly comfortable with. But the LSAG guidance note suggests that source of wealth queries should be commonplace and that evidence should be sought and kept, obviously, of the queries about the client's overall financial wherewithal. Now, the only comment I would make about this is many of the electronic search providers with whom we probably have very good relationships anyway, offer source of wealth enquiries, but I don't think that that's really answering the question, because what you tend to find with their source of wealth enquiries, which they'll undertake through open banking and this kind of thing, is a whole pile of bank statements, which tells us nothing really. What I think source of wealth enquiries should connote is conversations with the client about their financial history over time. Oh, you did this then, and oh, that was successful. Oh, and then you did this and that wasn't so good. Okay, fine. And you just have this conversation about who the client is and where they've generated their wealth from over the years. And as long as we've kept that note, and I would suggest in a sort of template format, that's fine, because this conversation can be condensed into writing, and I'm thinking of a few sentences only that can be easily picked up for anybody else who is acting for the client over time. Often when I do anti-money laundering audits, I go into firms and I say, no, what about this client? What source of wealth information have you got? They say, oh, nothing. I know this client. And I say, I know you know the client, but I don't. And if you went under a bus tonight and I had to pick up the file, how would I know what you know about their financial history? And that, I think, is what source of wealth inquiries are all about. So yes, I think we do have to ask all of our clients where they get their money from.